Actually, you know what? Let's stand up.
Here's,
I can't sit down.
No?
So,
yeah.
look, without any further ado here, I want to make sure that introduce our newest Philadelphia Union player. He's going to have a number that is reflective of his past and maybe the fact that he's coming to Philly with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. I know it's Chemo Tinneman's number for the Flyers, so introducing Danny Cruz. Good. We'll sit down now. Answer any questions. Okay, that's yours. Nice, thank you.
John, can you just talk about the formation and tactically how Danny fits into this attack and where we should expect to see him on the field?
Sure. The fact is Danny is a very versatile player. When he was younger, he played for me as a forward. I think that's important to note that at least our thought as a staff is that he has the potential to be a goal scorer for us. At the same time, he can play on the right side and left side. And in our formation right now in a 4-3-3, he can show up on either the right or left side. If we change and play it in a more traditional 4-4-2, again, he has the work ethic and the ability to go up and down the flanks on either side. So, I think in some ways, Leo and Danny have similar traits. And because of that, I think Danny fits in very well to our system right away.
Hey Danny, I'm sure your life's been kind of turned upside down the last couple of days here. What's it been like, and just general thoughts on being in Philadelphia now?
Yeah, like you said, it's obviously a life-changing move for anybody, but I don't think I could have gone to a better team. I'm fortunate enough to have played for Coach Hackworth when I was younger. I'm very comfortable with him, not only as a coach but as a person, and I know a lot of the guys in the locker room. So as far as transitioning, with anything, it's going to take a little bit of time, but by no means do I feel uncomfortable or am I I wouldn't even say nervous. I'm more excited to get going. I thoroughly enjoyed training today and meeting the guys and being a part of the group, and I'm just looking forward to hopefully finishing the year strong for the club.
Can you talk about just going back to a DC on Sunday? Is that going to be a pretty weird thing this year?
Yeah. To be honest, obviously being traded from Houston to DC and playing them numerous times this year, it's not going to be the first time that I'm playing against an old family per se. But the same way I put it when I was with DC, this is my new family. And as far as being weird, no, I think and Coach Hackworth knows this. I'm excited. I'm excited to go back this weekend, and I'm excited to hopefully be a part of a good result and move forward.
This question is guessly generally based to both of you. Talk about when a player comes in on a trade. Normally they don't have experience playing underneath the coach, but where you come in, Danny, now and you've played under Hackworth, that makes it easier to get on the field and understand his system, his philosophy, and the way he runs things.
I'm finishing.
I think that made this trade. When you go through all the decision-making processes and weigh the pros and the cons in these situations, that certainly made this one an easier decision for me. The thought from the time that I was introduced as an interim team manager was that I wanted to try to keep a lot of continuity in the locker room. I wanted to show the most faith in the guys there. But at the same time, when this kind of situation came up and presented itself, knowing that I would be bringing in a player who I didn't have to have an adjustment period with, who knew me and I knew him, it makes it easier in that regard. That said, I want to make sure that we distinguish the fact that Danny's had an unbelievable career so far in the MLS, and that was the most important aspect of the whole thing. He was, in my opinion, a key player for the Houston Dynamo last year. He torched us every time we played him. So now I think we have a proven player in Danny. He fits into being a young guy with a lot of potential, and the fact that we've had past experience with each other should just make this transition easier.
Yeah, definitely, and I think, you know, numerous times in my past I've been loud and clear to the media, to different newspapers, that, you know, I've always down the road thanked him for getting me, you know, started on this entire thing. You know, my career started with him. You know, the dream of wanting to become a professional soccer player started with the under-17 team, and really made me feel like it could work. And I've already learned so much from him. And you know, as he said, it's my 4th year in the league, and I'm still learning. I'm still getting, for me, I feel like I'm getting better every year, and I still have things that obviously, as any player, can work on. And who better to kind of do it from than someone who helped me start? So I'm looking forward to it. And as I've said, the transition so far has been smooth, and I don't expect it to be anything but that.
John, is this trade something that just developed, like, just go quick at one point yesterday, to the point where you said we can get this done?
Yeah, it was a very quick trade in that regard, and obviously it had to be with us playing DC in the weekend. Coach Olson and I were joking on the phone yesterday that this was going to be an interesting one, no matter what. We wished each other all the best, and then I said one of us was going to be happy and one of us was going to be sad at the end of the day. And I'm betting that I'm the happy one. So.
Danny, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you played with Houston and DC, you were used mostly on the right side as a right midfielder. Where do you have a spot on the field where you think you're more comfortable, or in general, what do you think you can add to the attack?
Yeah, I really do, and I know you probably hear this from every single player, but I do feel comfortable on both sides. I have a lot of confidence in striking the ball with both feet, and I'm not afraid to do it. You know, I think you know, I've seen this team play numerous times. We played against them here, you know, and at DC. It wasn't a pretty game for us. You know, Philly had the ball the entire game, and we ended up getting a set piece, and sometimes that's how things go. But I think I have a lot to offer, and you know, I'm just really looking forward to being able to kind of show the fan base and everybody else that I'm ready to contribute, and I'm going to do everything I can to do that.
You haven't really wasted any time talking to some of the fans on Twitter and whatnot. They've been going back and forth with you. What do you know about Philadelphia and the blue collar mentality and the Sons of Ben and just the fan base in general?
Yeah, you know, I'm not afraid. You know, I think Twitter is something to use as a positive way, and I think some people use it the right way, and some people don't. So, there was a few people, I was speaking to them earlier that kind of said, hope you can forgive us for all the bad comments while you were here, but we're glad you're on our side, and I just try to respond and let them know that I'm just a person too, and I'm more than happy to shoot back and forth and kind of just, enjoy things. If someone wants something from me or they ask me for something, I'm the first to tell them yes, and if I can, and if I can't, then I'll let them know no, So, from that regard, like you said, I look at this team, it's a blue-collar team. There's players on this team that work extremely hard, and it's something that is a pain to play against, and now I'm on, that side of it, and as I've said probably 4 or 5 times already, I really am looking forward to it.
Can you talk more about the past 24 hours, like when you heard the trade, your reaction, when you got to Philly, and the response of your teammates and everything?
Yeah, kind of just got a little bit chills talking, with that question. I went in the morning, was mid-breakfast in the locker room. Coach comes over and says, "Can I speak with you?" I walked in the office, I said, "What's up, Coach?" Just shooting it around, and he's like, "Oh man," he's like, "Can you sit down?" And we talked, and you know what? It's the business, and as I've said to other people, there's no ill will, and I'm really excited about being here. And I walk in the locker room, I know Coach already. I know a lot of these guys. I played with Freddie, I played with Jack with the 23s, and Amobi, and most of those guys I've known for a while. So I talked to Lahoud a little bit, and he's like, it's a little bit better when you're coming to a team where you know people as opposed to just walking in the locker room and not knowing anybody. I'm very comfortable already. I think a little bit of nerves as far as just more excitement than nervous, and that's where I'm at.
Even so, then is that kind of bring a chip on your shoulder a little bit? Nobody wants to get traded. Does that kind of come in with something to prove?
Absolutely. I mean, I think anytime someone trades for you, you want to kind of show them that they made the right move, and I can promise you that I'm going to do everything I possibly can to make sure that that people see that it was. And you know, while there's no ill will towards DC, as you said, no one goes to a team and says, "Hey, I want to be traded." You know, and there's certainly a chip on my shoulder, and I plan on doing everything I can for this club while I'm here. And that's the past now, and I'm completely okay with that, and I'm excited for the future.
Danny, moving forward, I mean, you're pretty young, but you've been in MLS a few years now, and you're coming to a team that's one of the youngest teams in MLS. Like, how does that make you feel towards the future? That future looks really bright, type thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you see this club in general, the first thing you think of is youth, and that's okay, because you know you've seen what's happened. You know, no disrespect to what was going on before, since Coach Hackworth's been in charge, you've seen a complete different team, in my opinion, from a player's perspective, and to see these young guys and see how much they've grown.